आज उत्तर प्रदेश में लोग बहुत ही सुरक्षित कर रहे हैं और शांत भाव से अपना काम कर रहे हैं। बच्चे लड़के लड़कियां सब स्कूल कॉलेज जा रहे हैं। कि अब यूपी में क्राइम करना बहुत खतरनाक है, किसी के लिए नहीं है। आज यूपी में जो स्टेबिलिटी है, जो सुरक्षा का जो माहौल है, जो स्थायित्व आया है, वो इलाहाबाद हाईकोर्ट की वजह से नहीं आया है और न ही सुप्रीम कोर्ट की वजह से आया है। देखिए, वो आया है पॉलिटिकल लीडरशिप और पुलिस एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन। उत्तर प्रदेश वो राज्य है जिसने साबित कर दिया, वहाँ की पॉलिटिकल लीडरशिप ने साबित कर दिया, पुलिस एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ने साबित कर दिया कि कितनी क्षमता होती है, क्या कुछ पुलिस एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन कर सकता है। का मतलब कि बाकी स्टेट्स में क्या होता है, वही पुलिस एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, लेकिन वो अपनी अथॉरिटी को ढंग से एक्सरसाइज नहीं करता, या किसी कारण से हो, पॉलिटिकल मोटिवेशन या एनीथिंग एल्स, इंस्टीट्यूशनल कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स हो, जो भी। लेकिन उत्तर प्रदेश ने दिखा दिया ये सब आपकी बहानेबाजी है। पुलिस अगर चालेगी तो विधि व्यवस्था को सुधारना उसके लिए कोई बहुत मुश्किल काम नहीं है। इसके लिए चाहिए बहुत ही कमिटेड और स्ट्रॉन्ग पॉलिटिकल विल। Good evening, friends. Today we are going to discuss administration of law and order and police as an institution. How this institution has evolved over a period of time, from ancient to medieval to modern period, and then in contemporary times. So, before we discuss police as an institution, we need to appreciate certain things. You must have read somewhere, that when we think of progress or development, we think of stability amid change and change amid stability. प्रगति का अर्थ कुछ और नहीं बल्कि स्थायित्व में परिवर्तन और परिवर्तन में स्थायित्व सुनिश्चित करना है। तो विदाउट स्टेबिलिटी you cannot think of any kind of change or development in society. And stability in the context of country has more than one dimensions. Stability, social stability, economic stability, political stability, cultural stability. Not many things are there. It does not mean that things become static. It means that you are stable and you are open to change from time to time as it is required. There is a difference between stability and stagnancy. And when it comes to achieve stability, the significance of one institution can hardly be overemphasized. You may agree, you may not agree. There are things which are very much controversial. Conflict, friction, conflict of interest, lot many things are there. But there is no denying the fact that police is one of the most important institutions of the government, which plays a very significant role in achieving that stability. How? By enforcement of law, enforcement of rules and regulations, by managing the conflict of interest or conflict taking place on the basis of diverse views, opinion, and diverse interests between individuals, groups, and communities. Conflict may take place on the basis of caste, class, region, religion, because of economic disparity in the distribution of economic resources, or it may because of one other kind of problems associated with the social structure. Lot many things are there. And more particularly in the context of contemporary world, we are living in a increasingly globalizing world, where the problems being faced by you or all of us here in our country may have its roots elsewhere outside the country. And the problems which may be taking place in the different parts of the world may have some roots here in India. So we are living in a very complex matrix of interdependency. It is against this backdrop that we need to understand the significance of police administration. But stability and change, and this stability and change, they are interdependent, interrelated, and this stability is brought to a great extent by police administration. Yes, all of us may have one of the kind of problems with police. Okay, so police in India, more particularly, a lot many controversies are there, and people have a lot of grievances against this police administration. But there is no denying the fact that in the absence of police, there will be wholesome chaos in the different parts of the country. Police play a very important role in achieving that stability. उत्तर प्रदेश में अगर आप कंपेयर करें आज की जो स्थिति है और पहले जो स्थिति थी, पिछले 7-8 वर्षों में जो बदलाव हुआ है, आप देखेंगे कि उत्तर प्रदेश में कोई सोच नहीं सकता था कि इस ढंग से नई नई इंडस्ट्रीज आ जाएंगी, एमओयू साइन होंगे, ग्लोबल इन्वेस्टर समिट जो है वो उत्तर प्रदेश में हो रहा है, ट्रेड कॉमर्स बिजनेस वो बेहतर होता जा रहा है। उसके बाद टूरिज्म, टूरिज्म जो है टूरिज्म को काफ़ी डेवलपमेंट हो रहा है, नए नए टूरिस्ट स्पॉट जो है वो सब आ गए, कई धार्मिक स्थल ऐसे हैं जहाँ पर लाखों करोड़ की संख्या में लोग आ रहे हैं। अभी आपने देखा कि महाकुंभ का आयोजन हुआ था, पूरी दुनिया जो है दुनिया में लोगों के चारों तो दुनिया में कई तरफ से लोग वहाँ पे आए महाकुंभ में जो आयोजन हुआ था सबको देखने के लिए। ये सब चीज़ें यूपी में हो रही है, ग्रोथ और डेवलपमेंट, डबल इंजन की सरकार है, सब कुछ है। लेकिन इस पूरे डेवलपमेंट के पीछे एक स्टेबिलिटी है, जो स्टेबिलिटी पहले नहीं थी, वो स्टेबिलिटी अभी है। और वो स्टेबिलिटी किसकी वजह से? वो स्टेबिलिटी पुलिस एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन की। फिरौती मांगने की हिम्मत अब कोई नहीं करता। अब कोई सरकारी जमीन या किसी दूसरे व्यक्ति की, प्राइवेट किसी व्यक्ति की जमीन पर कोई कब्जा करने की हिम्मत नहीं करता। अपहरण की वारदातें नहीं होती, वो सब पुरानी बात हो गई। तो फिरौती, अपहरण, गुंडागर्दी, ठीक है, उसे वसूली, ये सब चीजें, और जमीन पे कब्जा, हाँ, हत्या, मर्डर, और उसके बाद मनचले जो घुमा करते थे यहाँ वहाँ, लड़कियां कॉलेज नहीं जा पाती, स्कूल नहीं जा पाती, अब वो सब दिखाई नहीं पड़ता। एक तरफ है ऑपरेशन लंगड़ा और दूसरी तरफ है बुलडोजर एक्शन। ठीक है, इन सब की वजह से एक ऐसी परिस्थिति बनी है कि अब यूपी में क्राइम करना बहुत खतरनाक है, वो किसी के लिए नहीं है। आज यूपी में जो स्टेबिलिटी है, कई सारे ऐसे मैटर्स होंगे जिसमें कंट्रोवर्सी, आप गवर्नमेंट के किसी डिसीजन को लाइक और डिसलाइक कर सकते हैं, लेकिन एक मैटर तो ऐसा है जिसमें कोई कंट्रोवर्सी नहीं है, वो सब लोग एक्सेप्ट करेंगे कि लॉ एंड ऑर्डर, पब्लिक ऑर्डर जो मैनेजमेंट है वो काफ़ी बेहतर हो गया है उत्तर प्रदेश में। आज उत्तर प्रदेश में लोग बहुत ही सुरक्षित महसूस कर रहे हैं और शांत भाव से अपना काम कर रहे हैं। बच्चे, लड़के लड़कियां सब स्कूल कॉलेज जा रहे हैं। आज वो सुरक्षा का जो माहौल है, जो स्थायित्व आया है, वो इलाहाबाद हाईकोर्ट की वजह से नहीं आया है और ना ही सुप्रीम कोर्ट की वजह से आया है। देखिए, वो आया है पॉलिटिकल लीडरशिप और पुलिस एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन। उत्तर प्रदेश वो राज्य है जिसने साबित कर दिया, वहाँ की पॉलिटिकल लीडरशिप ने साबित कर दिया, पुलिस एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ने साबित कर दिया कि कितनी क्षमता होती है, क्या कुछ पुलिस एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन कर सकता है। का मतलब कि बाकी स्टेट्स में क्या होता है, वही पुलिस एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, लेकिन वो अपनी अथॉरिटी को ढंग से एक्सरसाइज नहीं करता, चाहे किसी कारण से हो, पॉलिटिकल मोटिवेशन या एनीथिंग एल्स, इंस्टीट्यूशनल कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स हो, जो भी। लेकिन उत्तर प्रदेश ने दिखा दिया कि ये सब आपकी बहानेबाजी है। पुलिस अगर चाह लेगी तो विधि व्यवस्था को सुधारना उसके लिए कोई बहुत मुश्किल काम नहीं है। इसके लिए चाहिए बहुत ही कमिटेड और स्ट्रॉन्ग पॉलिटिकल विल, पॉलिटिकल लीडरशिप, उसके अंदर वो दम कम होना चाहिए। और पुलिस एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन को, आपको पुलिस को थोड़ी आज़ादी देनी पड़ेगी। और फिर देखिए स्थिति, और ये स्टेबिलिटी जो आप हासिल की है, इसी स्टेबिलिटी के बेसिस पे अब चेंज और डेवलपमेंट पॉसिबल हो पाया है और हो रहा है। ये बात सब लोग मानते हैं, न केवल उत्तर प्रदेश में बल्कि बाकी जगह। ये सिग्निफिकेंस है पुलिस एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन। तो नेशन बिल्डिंग और सोशो इकोनॉमिक प्रोग्रेस, जैसा लिखा हुआ है यहाँ पे, नेशन बिल्डिंग और सोशो इकोनॉमिक प्रोग्रेस, दीज आर द मेन टू मेन गोल्स ऑफ डेवलपमेंट, एंड ऑल सच थिंग्स आर नॉट पॉसिबल विदाउट पीस एंड सिक्योरिटी. And when we think about peace and security or stability, the significance of police administration can hardly be overemphasized. There is no doubt there are many problems which are required to be addressed. Institutional problems are there, political interference in police administration, lack of efficiency, corruption, not many things are there. But despite all such limitations, police play a very important role in providing that stable disposition wherefrom we can think of bringing and developing in the different parts of the country. But now the question arises, अब आप ये पूछ सकते हैं कि पुलिस आखिर ये पुलिस वर्ड आया कहाँ से? ये संस्कृत का वर्ड तो है नहीं, हिंदी में ऐसा कोई वर्ड नहीं है पुलिस, तो पुलिस वर्ड आया कहाँ से? इसका पॉइंट ऑफ ओरिजिन क्या है? तो पुलिस शब्द है, सही आप सोच रहे हैं, ये हिंदुस्तान का नहीं है, लेकिन इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि पुलिस एज एन इंस्टीट्यूशन भारत में नहीं था। पुलिस आज के मॉडर्न फॉर्म में, ये जो यूनिफॉर्म में जो पुलिस है, एक स्ट्रक्चर है, रूल ऑफ लॉ, पूरी एक हायरार्की है, मेथड, टेक्निक, प्रोसेस, पुलिस के काम करने का तौर तरीका, ये सब चीज़ें आज के दौर के हिसाब से हो सकती हैं, तो इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि पुलिस पहले नहीं थी, पुलिस पहले थी। एंशिएंट पीरियड में ही पुलिस थी, मिडिवल पीरियड में ही पुलिस थी, और मॉडर्न पीरियड में ही पुलिस एक न एक किसी न किसी फॉर्म में हमेशा रही। इसलिए बेटर ये होगा कि पुलिस को केवल स्ट्रक्चर के फॉर्म में देखने की बजाय आप पुलिस फंक्शंस पे, देयर हैज ऑलवेज बीन वन अदर काइंड ऑफ every civilized society to enforce the will of the state, to enforce rules, regulations, and laws, or to enforce the ethical or moral standards set by the society for the collective well-being of the people. तो हमेशा एक न एक कोई इंस्टीट्यूशन ऐसा रहा है। अगर आप पुलिस वर्ड पे अगर जाएंगे तो पुलिस वर्ड की शुरुआत जो है पुलिस, इंटरेस्टिंगली ये जो वर्ड है पुलिस और एक वर्ड आपने सुना होगा पॉलिसी, दोनों का जो रूट है वो सेम है, पॉलिस। वो रूट वर्ड सेम है, उससे दोनों बने हैं, पुलिस और पॉलिसी, और दोनों ही समाज में स्टेबिलिटी लाते हैं। सरकार की नीतियां होती हैं, वो स्पष्ट कर देती है कि सरकार क्या करेगी और सरकार क्या नहीं करेगी। पॉलिसी पॉलिसी इज अ सेट सिस्टम ऑफ डिसीजन, पॉलिसी इज अ सेट सिस्टम ऑफ डिसीजंस रिगार्डिंग एनी सब्जेक्ट मैटर on the basis of which regular or routine decisions are taken by the institutions and agencies of the government. So policy also brings stability, brings orderliness. सरकार की एक रक्षा नीति है, सरकार की एक एनवायरमेंट पॉलिसी है, फिजिकल पॉलिसी है, मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी है, इंडस्ट्रियल पॉलिसी है, कमर्शियल पॉलिसी है, कई सरकार की पॉलिसी नीतियां हैं। उन सब की वजह से एक स्टेबिलिटी आती है, एक ऑर्डरलीनेस आता है। आपको पता होता है कि सरकार की नीति है, सरकार क्या करेगी और क्या नहीं करेगी। सिटीजनरी, जनता को पता होता है कि उसे क्या करना है, क्या नहीं, क्या संभव है और क्या संभव नहीं है। सरकार की स्पष्ट पॉलिसी है, उसके बियॉन्ड को नहीं जा सकता। ब्यूरोक्रेसी को पता होता है कि ये पॉलिसी है, उसी पॉलिसी के दायरे के अंदर पूरी ब्यूरोक्रेसी, एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, सारी गवर्नमेंट एजेंसीज, प्राइवेट एजेंसी, सबको काम करना है। नोबडी कैन क्रॉस द बाउंड्री ऑफ पॉलिसी। तो पॉलिसी जो है वो भी जैसे स्टेबिलिटी और ऑर्डरलीनेस लाती है, वैसे ही पुलिस जो है, पुलिस जो है वो मैनिफेस्टेशन है पावर ऑफ द स्टेट। Police exercises the power of the state. For what? The enforcement of law, to bring orderliness in day-to-day life, to strengthen the cause of democracy. By enforcing rule of law, police is supposed to strengthen the foundation of democracy. Whatever happens, it will happen in keeping with law, not on the basis of whims and fancy of any one person. Society to the legislature, and this is reflecting the spirit of collectivism. The legislature that enacts law, on the basis of such law, the entire administrative system functions, and police is supposed to enforce such law. Various laws which are enacted by the government, institutions, agencies, they have to carry out different kinds of responsibility to exercise their authority, but nobody can cross the boundary. Police in a democratic state has to protect the rights of the citizens, has to enforce rule of law and to protect the rights of the citizenry, and in general orderliness, and has to manage the conflict of interest, prevention of crime, detection of crime. What is clear? Then, a progressive and very proactive police may also anticipate the problems which are likely to arise in future, okay, and to deal with that problem in the present. You anticipate things and you prepare for the same. Police administration. But the word police and word policy, both of them have common roots. But to begin with, this word police, it originated from Greek word. सबसे पहले ग्रीक जो है उन्होंने वर्ड यूज किया, लेकिन उन्होंने पुलिस वर्ड यूज नहीं किया था। उन्होंने जो वर्ड यूज किया था वो था क्या था, पोलिटिया, पोलिटिया, पोलिटिया। फिर ग्रीक वर्ड से वो आ गया लैटिन वर्ड पोलिजिया। उसके बाद फिर आप समझ रहे हैं, पहले ग्रीक वर्ड था पोलिटिया, उसके बाद फिर आया लैटिन में उस वर्ड को इनकॉर्पोरेट कर लिया गया तो बन गया पोलिजिया। उसके बाद फिर फ्रेंच में आया, फ्रेंच लैंग्वेज के अंदर इस वर्ड को यूज़ किया गया, जैसे पुलिस। तो पहली बार जो वर्ड है ये POLIC, पुलिस, ये फ्रेंच लैंग्वेज में इस वर्ड को यूज़ किया गया है, पुलिस। तो इन सब का मतलब क्या था? इन सब का मतलब बहुत ही ब्रॉडर कॉन्टेक्स्ट में इस वर्ड को यूज़ किया गया था। पोलिजिया और पुलिस फ्रेंच लैंग्वेज, तो इसको काफ़ी ब्रॉड सेंस में यूज़ किया था। सिटीजनरी, एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, मैनेजमेंट और द गवर्नमेंट, समथिंग लाइक दिस, ठीक है। देन इन 15th सेंचुरी में इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज जो है, ब्रिटिश लैंग्वेज, इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज जो उसके अंदर उसको इनकॉर्पोरेट किया गया। वर्ड को पुलिस, और पुलिस को वर्ड तो वही रहा पुलिस, but the word police was used not so much in broader sense but in a very specific sense, a state power, reflection of state power to enforce law, rules and regulations, and to bring orderliness in. So the word police, to begin with, it was used very broader sense like citizenry, administration, and government. But gradually, in the course of time, this word started assuming, or this word was given a more specific meaning. And today, the word police does not mean citizenry or administration or the entire polity or government. No, the word police is used to refer to an institution dedicated, institutions manned by well-trained personnel, especially selected persons who are responsible for enforcement of rule of law. An institution dedicated to the cause of orderliness, to cause of public order, or for the prevention of cause of public order, prevention of crime, detection of crime, then protecting the cause of protection of vital interest of individual groups and community and society. And vital interest means life and property. So the word police is used in the context of, in a very specific sense, as an institution which is committed to the cause of bringing stability in society, enforcing rule of law, preventing crime, preventing crime, and detecting crime, providing security in general, okay, anticipating some problems and responding to the same. So overall well-being and orderliness, or it means, I would say, orderliness in society. For that, the word police is, so it began with a broader sense, but gradually, it became very much specific. In the context of India, if you ask me, in the context of India, when was this word used first of all? So yes, we cannot say that the word police originated here in India. As I said, has never originated in India. And instead of police, we should focus more on police function. And we can say quite safely that some kind of institution, very much like police, was there in the ancient period, was there in the Mughal period. So in modern period in India, for the first time, the word police was used during British period. In ancient period, if you ask me, then if you see the growth and development during the period of Harappan civilization, when Harappan civilization, when society was so well organized, so lanes and by-lanes cutting across each other at 90-degree angles. You have upper mounts, lower mounts, residential colonies, then weights and measures, which suggest that trade, commerce, business take place on very definite lines, standardization of things, size of the brick remains the same, planning of the city same, buildings are in proper alignment. If you see the overall, all the features of the city, if you see the city administration, it is difficult to say, but it's impossible to say that police administration was not there. Not in the form of the police that we see today, but in one other form, some kind of institutions and agencies were there. Otherwise, enforcement of so much of regularity and discipline would be impossible. How can you think of city like Harappa and Mohenjo-daro or Kalibangan, where you see some kind of standardization, size of the brick remains the same, alignment, as I said, is there in most of the cities. Overall structure is so well designed. So it could hardly be possible. It could hardly be possible in the absence of few persons having been conferred with the authority and the power to set rules and regulation and to enforce the same. So people did not dare to defy such rules, regulation, and laws. That's why you see so much of standardization Harappan civilization. But we don't have any reference to police administration as such during Harappan period. But some kind of was there. Then next important point to be of a point to be noted is that of in the course of evolution, the next point of reference can be modern period. During modern period, you can say a full-fledged politico-administrative system by the standards of ancient period. A full-fledged politico-administrative system came into existence. It means all the developments which were taking place in the course of evolution, right from the Harappan civilization, period of Harappan civilization, those developments reached its culmination during the time of Mauryans. During the time of Mauryans, a political administrative system assumed so much of definiteness and so much of structural or procedural or functional differentiation and other sophistication that After moderns, in ancient period, no political dynasty could surpass it. So after moderns, you'll find that you have Kushanas and then Guptas and then Vardhans and then Rajput states, but none of them could make any substantive addition to what was discovered during the modern period. Okay, and during modern period, law and order was taken very. Again, I said that there is nothing like modern police, but something equivalent to police administration was there. There was an officer. There was an officer to look after the law and order and public order, etc. in the city. In the district administration, also you have officials responsible for enforcing law, rules, regulation, maintaining orderliness, preventing crime, and catching hold of the criminals and punishing them. All such things were there during the modern period. But in ancient period, to begin with, you can say quite safely that policing was done more by the community rather than structurally differentiated or recognized dedicated institutions like police. It was not so much an institution of police which used to look after the law and order condition. Community through the village councils, you uh, look after the law and order, public order, etc. There in the village and the areas nearby. So this was the case of police administration in the ancient period. Modern period represents, overall represents the state of affairs for the ancient period. This is the period which witnessed, the most, you can say, a well-developed political administrative system, structurally differentiated and differentiated, civil administration or military administration and officials in the officials in the urban areas and dedicated officials there in the rural areas. It means the fundamental principles of administration that we find today, all such fundamental principles, to a great extent such principles, their understanding were reflected by the Mauryans in their design. If you go through the Arthashastra of Kautilya, and then things become very much clear. That may be debatable that whether the things mentioned in the Arthashastra, you know, had actually been executed, or there was a kind of gap between the what was prescribed there in the Arthashastra and what was actually happening. But even if there is a gap, the fact that there is a reference to such kind of administration exhibits one thing, that knowledge-wise or in terms of understanding, they were far ahead of many contemporaries of theirs. They were very much advanced. To what extent it was executed, that can be a matter of debate and discussion. But very reference to that administrative system, the rules, regulations, the policy, all such things reflect that they had reached a very advanced stage of state formation, going by the standards that we can apply for political dynasties all over the world in the ancient. Okay, then in the Mughal period, you have again in Mughal period there is nothing like dedicated police administration. It means administrative officers at the district level, they were given the charge and the responsibilities to look after the law and order conditions, manage the law and order conditions with the help of village councils, villagers. So in Mughal period, you had that Mughal Empire was divided into various divided into provinces known as subas. Then head of the suba was known as subedar. Then province was divided into various sarkars and paragna, and then within paragna you have number of villages. Accordingly, you have subedar, and then for the sarkar you have fauzdar, and then under fauzdar you have sikdar. So they, along with some other officials, revenue officials, they used to enforce rules and regulations or the law, or for that matter they used to maintain the law and order conditions. As well, Fauzdar used to maintain a small army, a small force, the help of which he was supposed to maintain law and order. But it goes to the, I think it goes against the Mughal government, their principles and their understanding of administration. But although they used to collect revenue and collect taxes from people, but for law and order they did not do anything which can be called significant. In fact, Fauzdar was given the responsibility, but the area under or the jurisdiction of Fauzdar was so huge that he could hardly maintain law and order condition in his area. Given the size of the area under his jurisdiction, he used to maintain a small force. Thereafter, law and order or law and order or security, such things were taken care of by the villages on their own, out of their own funds. So they used to appoint chowkidars and they used to pay salary or other kind of benefits to the chowkidars. Goes against the principles of or ethical moral standards of it was applied by the British or for the Mughal government. It goes against that. That despite having abundant resources, even during the time of Akbar, despite abundant resources, they never paid the required attention to the maintenance of law and order and to provide such basic services to the villagers, the people in the rural areas. Yes, in the cities, in the capital cities, they used to maintain something similar to police force because all the VIPs and dignitaries there. But in rural areas, not much was done. It was for the people to, fend for themselves. This is one of the demerits of Mughal administration. So Fauzdar, Sikdar, and other officers used to look after the administration during the Mughal period, to look after the law and order and other conditions. Then you come to British period. British period is very much important because what we have today in the name of police administration, to a great extent, is the outcome of the developments which took place during. I want to make it clear that police functions per se is not new. It is not something which has been given to us by the the British Governor General or British government. No, police functions some things similar to modern police. Police as an institution has always been in existence in Indian ancient or middle period, but police in the form in which we see today as a police administration, a well structured police administration and hierarchy from Director General of Police to Inspector General to DIG and the Superintendent of Police and go up to the level of constable. This hierarchy, the proper structure, then functions, responsibility, restriction, well defined under law. This is something which took place during police as an institution is not new to, but police as an institution in modern times working under rule of law. And if you see in the context of the rules and procedures and the structure, in this aspect you can say that is something which is the outcome of developments which took place during this period. So during the British period, what are the important developments? First of all, you begin with a Battle of Plassey, Battle of Buxar, and then you have Lord Clive, the governor of Bengal, the Warren Hastings. Warren Hastings, the first Governor General of British administered territory in India, sitting in Bengal there, Warren Hastings. So Warren Hastings did not take much initiative for a specific police administration to develop police administration modern European lines. He continued with Fauzdars sometime, but after some time, in a year or so, he found a lot of problems with the Fauzdari system. So that system was abolished. But again, after 2 years, a system was restored with some kind of modification. But there is no denying the fact that Warren Hastings did not play much important role in development of modern police administration, though he focused much on administration and developing the institution for exercise of and administrative authority. But police administration per se was not so much the focus of attention. Lord Cornwallis the next. Lord Cornwallis played a very important role in developing a modern police administration with proper structure, and then our district police to be headed by superintendent of police, and then at the top you have and then at the local level you have police thanas, then with SHOs, darogas. So a structure of police administration definitely. Yes, also you can say the Lord Cornwallis set the ball rolling, which was taken up by successive governor generals, and they brought some changes from time to time. So during the period of William Bentinck, William 1833 something, during the period of William Bentinck, police administration was brought under the control of magistrate, uh, district magistrate or deputy commissioner. So it was brought under their control. And thereafter, you can say, last date continued in the same manner. And the next landmark development took place in 1861 when the Police Act was passed. The first police commission was established in 1860, and on the basis of its recommendation, a Police Act 1860 was passed, which continues even today, till the date, which continues to be the most powerful law governing the structure and functions of the police. Since then, after independence, many state governments have brought certain changes. They have enacted new laws. But even today, Police Act 1861 is the most important and the main governing law for police administration all over. So during British period, such developments took place. Police Act 1861 very much an attempt was made to standardize the police administration all over the country, structure and functions of the police officers, then the rules and procedures for day-to-day functioning, recruitment, or for their training, Lot many things are there, which were there in the Police Act 1861, and it continued for the British period. And after that, you see one more thing, that 1902, 1903, you have Fraser Commission. Fraser Commission established for reforms in police administration in India, which suggested that Indians too be incorporated in the police administration at the higher level. They should also be appointed as officials. Old mindset has to be shed off. That Indians cannot be appointed up in the hierarchy. They cannot be appointed as officials in the administration. That could be dangerous to the British interest in India. This is something uh, not supported by Fraser Commission. Although the British government till the end kept the police administration totally under its control, because for the British government, police administration was an instrument. During British period, it was not a democracy; it was a kind of bureaucracy. Officials, this officialdom and police administration was only an instrument in the hands of the British government, and through this instrument, they were supposed to that they were actually pursuing their colonial or imperial interest in India. On the one hand, you have to, time to time, you have to create deterrence, you have to attenuate, and you have to diffuse that the Indian national movement, you have to suppress it, and on the other hand, you have to pursue your main interest, that is exploitation of the resources of India as far as possible to be taken up therein in London. This was the point. So police and army, this was just an, it continued in 1947. And during the British period, they had actually organized and constituted Indian Imperial Police. Imperial Police. This Imperial Police, Indian Imperial Police, after independence, it was transformed into Indian Police, IPS. So what we know today as IPS, Indian Police Service, it began its journey, Indian Imperial Service, Imperial Police. So, and after that, 1947 onwards, we have seen more developments. National Police Commission. Number of commissions were established for bringing reforms, police administration. But remember that in our constitution, 7 deals with union list and state list and concurrent list. But in this list, you'll find that public order and police, these have been incorporated as state list subjects. That's why union government, though it has an important role to play in overall police administration, cannot enact substantive law governing the functioning of the police. State in the state list, public order and police, these are state subjects, and then states can enact appropriate law, appropriate law to govern their police administration. But all states, they are governed at the top by the Police Act 1861. Now it is for the state government. So from time to time, the state governments have enacted the laws and have brought certain changes, modifications, the legal system governing the police administration state. But such changes are required to be approved of by the central government. I mean, say, without the approval of the president, it cannot be brought into effect. It's clear. So, a National Police Commission, which was established in 1977, it gave recommendations. Thereafter, Supreme Court has also gave directives for reforms in administration. So broadly, if you see all the Malimet committee and other committee, the Bureau committee, all such committees, their recommendations are taken into consideration. You find that there are certain things which have been emphasized by all of them. First, to stop political interference in administration. Most of the committees, including the Supreme Court, have suggested that there should be a state security commission to ensure that police administration is insulated against undue, undesirable political interference. And then police establishment board for recruitment or for the promotion and for the transfer of the police personnel. There should be a multi-member body like police establishment board to look after the things. Then separation of law and order and investigation subject, because the same police responsible for law and order maintenance and investigation is not a good idea, because these two kind of basic functions, law and order, maintenance of law and order and investigation, demands two different kinds of skill and approach. Okay, and it's very time taking. The same police responsible for both of them. Not only it leads to lack of that proficiency, it also leads to a shoddy investigation, overburden police beyond limit. So law and order has to be separated from so as to improve the quality of investigation. Okay, two different kinds of police personnel are required. Okay, their training has to be done. Investigation has to be taken up by officials specifically trained, officers selected on the basis of certain aptitude to look after that. Investigation plays a very important role. Without quality investigation, you cannot collect evidences. You cannot collect raw evidences into prosecutable evidence. And what will happen to the case there in court of law? You won't be able to. Short investigation means is gone. So law and order investigation has to be separated. Police establishment board, then police complaints authority, okay, then state security commission, police against political interference, then modernization of police administration infrastructure, modernization of the weaponry, transport, logistics, and lot many things are there. These are the things which are required to be improved on scientific lines. And the law within the bounds of which police administration functions, the law has to be amended. It has to be brought in tune with the contemporary realities. In this direction, the government has taken a very welcome initiative when IPC and CRPC, in Indian Evidence Act, they were replaced by Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita, Bharatiya Sakshya Adhiniyam. So these significant developments have taken place, but still, lot many things are. Indian Police Act still plays a very important role. Is the main governing law, 1861 Police Act 1861, which is required to be replaced by a new law. And Police Act 1861 actually provides for that basic structure of the police administration and the power and functions, jurisdiction of police officials, and then rules, procedures pertaining to recruitment, their appointment, their training. Lot many things are there. So overall, this is the development how the police as an institution has evolved in ancient period, medieval period, and from medieval to modern period, before independence and after independence. We keep complaining about corruption in the police, inefficiency of the police administration. If there is one institution of the government which 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 suffers from huge trust deficit, it is. We are so much proximate to police. शायद ही कोई ऐसा व्यक्ति होगा आज, हम लोगों में से बहुत लोग ऐसे होंगे जिन्होंने आज तक कभी किसी जज को करीब से देखा नहीं, कभी आपने किसी एमएलए से आज तक बात ही नहीं की। में से कई ऐसे होंगे जो किसी सांसद से आज तक कभी नहीं मिले, किसी बड़े आईएएस अधिकारी से आज तक नहीं मिले, लेकिन हम में से कोई भी ऐसा नहीं होगा जिसने कभी पुलिस को नहीं। अनदर फॉर्म, वी आर सो मच प्रॉक्सिमेट टू दिस इंस्टीट्यूशन। और इंटरेस्टिंगली तो देखिए क्या है, और इतने दूर जितने हम लोग पुलिस से हैं तक किसी के साथ नहीं। पीपल डू नॉट ट्रस्ट। ये बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन, ये तो पुलिस की बात है। आज अगर पुलिस में करप्शन है, पुलिस में तुम अब देखिए, अगर ये पॉलिटिकल इंटरफेरेंस बहुत अधिक हो रहा है तो हु इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर दैट? केवल पॉलिटिकल लीडर्स रिस्पॉन्सिबल नहीं, पुलिस लीडरशिप इज ऑल्सो रिस्पॉन्सिबल। अगर पुलिस लीडरशिप में करेज होता, स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ कैरेक्टर होता, पुलिस लीडरशिप में अगर आपस में यूनिटी अगर होती, जैसे पॉलिटिकल लीडर्स आपके साथ करें, क्या आप यूनाइट नहीं हो सकते कि नहीं हम नहीं मानेंगे ये बात, वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू एक्सेप्ट एनी डायरेक्शन ऑफ योर्स नॉट कंपैटिबल विथ रूल ऑफ लॉ और कॉमन लीगल कोड? आपके सामने सब कुछ। वही पुलिस एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन उत्तर प्रदेश में है, वही पुलिस एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन बंगाल में है। क्या स्थिति है बंगाल की? छिपा हुआ है। ये हमारे आपके कहने की बात नहीं है कि हम लोग किस पॉलिटिकल पार्टी को फॉलो करते नहीं करते। हाई कोर्ट ने जो कमेटी बनाई, फैक्ट फाइंडिंग कमेटी, इन्वेस्टिगेट किया, देखा उसने क्या रिपोर्ट सबमिट किया कि पुलिस जो है मुख दर्शक बनकर बैठी रही और वहां दंगे होते रहे। ठीक है, चुन चुन करके आप किसी कमेटी के लोगों को मारते हो, घर से निकाल करके उनको मार देते। आप घर पे आग लगा दिए और पानी की सप्लाई जो है आप उसको भी कट कर दिए। और जहां पर ये सारी चीजें हो रही हैं, पुलिस स्टेशन 300 मीटर दूर है वहां से। मुर्शिदाबाद का केस जो रेगुलर फॉलो नहीं कर रहे हैं उनको मुर्शिदाबाद का केस बहुत बड़ा केस लगेगा, लेकिन ये एक रियलिटी है बंगाल में लंबे समय से, ये एक पैटर्न है। इट हैज केप्ट ऑन हैपनिंग। आरजीकर हॉस्पिटल का क्या केस था? पुलिस क्या कर पाई वहां पे? एक हॉस्पिटल को बचा नहीं पाई। ठीक है, लोग डाउटफुल, मतलब लोग तो भरोसा कैसे करेंगे पुलिस पे? लोगों को लग रहा है कि पुलिस जो है वो तो एक्यूज जो है, जो क्रिमिनल्स है उनके साथ है, वो डॉक्टर्स के साथ नहीं है। ये बात काफ़ी है। और आज भी अगर आप बोल सकते हैं, अगर ट्रस्ट डेफिसिट की बात हो तो बंगाल पुलिस सबसे आगे होगी। बिल्कुल भरोसा नहीं करते लोग, करते। ये तो लोग जो है मुर्शिदाबाद में डिमांड कर रहे हैं कि बीएसएफ का यहाँ पे एक कैंप लग जाना चाहिए, तो पुलिस पे भरोसा नहीं है। अपने आप में बहुत बड़ी बात है। ये पुलिस लीडरशिप के लिए विचार करने की बात है। इस दिन के लिए आप आईपीएस बने थे, क्या पढ़ाई लिखाई आपकी बुद्धिमत्ता का क्या लाभ समाज को मिल रहा है? आप वही कर रहे हो, सीधा ऑपोजिट डायरेक्शन आता है, वही कर रहे हैं आप। आपकी पुलिस बिल्कुल बैठी है, जो दंगे फसाद हो रहे हैं होने दो, कुछ जैसे लगता है पुलिस नाम की कोई चीज है ही नहीं। अगर ये भी होता तो भी चल जाता। यहाँ तो कई केस ऐसे हैं जिसमें पुलिस एक्चुअल में ऐसा लग रहा है प्रिसाइड कर रही है कि आप करो, खड़े, कोई दिक्कत नहीं, आप जाइए। व्हाट इज दिस? हकीकत है। पुलिस रिफॉर्म्स की बातें बहुत की जाती है, लेकिन पुलिस रिफॉर्म्स क्यों नहीं हो पा रही? सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट कारण है कि जो पॉलिटिकल लीडरशिप है, पॉलिटिकल लीडरशिप ही नहीं चाहती पुलिस रिफॉर्म। एक प्रोफेशनली कॉम्पिटेंट पुलिस होगी, कमिटेड टू रूल ऑफ लॉ, बहुत ही डिसिप्लिन अगर होगी, सबसे अधिक खतरा पॉलिटिकल लीडर्स को ही होगा, क्योंकि कुकर्म इनके ही बहुत ज़्यादा है। इसलिए नहीं चाहते हैं कि पुलिस इंडिपेंडेंट होकर ऐसे काम करे। इसलिए जुडिशियल इंटरवेंशन कहाँ कहाँ होगा? अब तो जुडिशियल इंटरवेंशन पे भी कोशिश करने लगे। कहीं पर पुलिस, कहीं पर सुप्रीम कोर्ट का हाथ बहुत भारी पड़ता है, कहीं पर हल्का पड़ता है। उत्तर प्रदेश में कुछ हो जाए तो देखोगे कोर्ट बहुत एक्टिव हो जाता है। बंगाल में होता है इनडिफरेंट, तो खास बात नहीं। बंगाल में जितने केसेस हो चुके हैं उस हिसाब से तो बहुत पहले ही सुप्रीम कोर्ट जो है वो समन कर सकती थी। डीजी को बुला के पूछो कि आपकी पुलिस का मतलब क्या है, सकते थे, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं। तो पुलिस एज एन इंस्टीट्यूशन लंबे समय से रही है। अभी जो मॉडर्न जो पुलिस का फॉर्म आप देख रहे हो, प्रीटी स्पिरिट आउट। और किसी भी सिविलाइज सोसाइटी में पुलिस की जरूरत पड़ेगी हमें। ठीक है, उसके आपकी कंट्रोवर्सी बहुत सारी होंगी, आपके आपके क्रिटिसिज्म होगा, बहुत सारे लोगों को बहुत सारी बात अच्छी लगेगी, बुरी लगेगी, लेकिन फिर भी आज भी पुलिस का बहुत रिलेवेंस पुलिस है। इसकी वजह से ही बहुत सारे क्राइम्स रुक जाते हैं। अब वो अलग बात है कि पुलिस उतनी एफिशिएंट, वो हम लोग के एक्सपेक्टेशन पे अभी तक तो खड़ी नहीं उतर पाई है। ठीक है, वो अलग बात है, लेकिन पुलिस की अहमियत इससे कम नहीं होती है। आगे चल कर उसको इम्प्रूव करने की जरूरत। धीरे धीरे जैसे जैसे सोसाइटी में लोग इवॉल्व करते जाएंगे, लोग जाएंगे, एक मैच्योर डेमोक्रेसी, लोग जो है वो प्रेशर गवर्नमेंट पे डालेंगे, इस रिफॉर्म्स चाहिए। इट इज़ डिफिकल्ट टू थिंक ऑफ अ सिविलाइज सोसाइटी विदाउट स्टेबिलिटी, एंड इट इज़ डिफिकल्ट टू थिंक ऑफ स्टेबिलिटी विदाउट some law enforcement. Human behavior is highly unpredictable, uncertain. अगर सारे बौद्ध भिक्षु भी अगर हों किसी गांव में, किसी शहर में, किसी राज्य में, तब भी आपको पुलिस चाहिए। क्यों? कि बिहेवियर में बदलाव होगा। इसमें कई सारे बौद्ध भिक्षु ऐसे होंगे जो आज बौद्ध भिक्षु हैं, कल पता चला आज शांति को उपदेश दे रहे हैं, कल खुद वो दिक्कत आ गई उनको, शांति के खिलाफ काम कर रहे हैं। पुलिस हमेशा चाहिए, लेकिन पुलिस तो समय काल परिस्थिति के अनुसार अपने आप को बदलना होगा, so that it becomes more relevant as an institution. Thank you.